Knock one out of the park with KCTC's Arlo security cameras. Strike out intruders by receiving instant alerts when Arlo detects motion or sound. View live video and playback recorded footage from anywhere. Packages start at $14.95 a month with no upfront camera cost. We install your cameras and provide 24/7 support. It's time to play ball and contact KCTC today.
Attention in the barns, this is last call for senior bucket bottle class 1 and 2. Last call. Attention in the junior bucket bottle showman, do not bring your calves, just yourself.
Knock one out of the park with KCTC's Arlo security cameras. Strike out intruders by receiving instant alerts when Arlo detects motion or sound. View live video and playback recorded footage from anywhere. Packages start at $14.95 a month with no upfront camera cost. We install your cameras and provide 24/7 support. It's time to play ball.
Okay, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started with the bucket bottle show. We would like to thank KCTC for their generous gift to live stream all shows. That link is listed on the show program so you can tune in for other shows this week. We appreciate their generous support. Families and friends around the world to get to enjoy this year. You can enjoy this show again by following the link at the top of the show program to see all previously recorded Washington County Exhibitor Fair Livestock shows on the KCTC YouTube channel. Our judge today is Mason Edwards, and we will have him introduce himself.
Check. I am Mason Edwards, and I live just north of here, about an hour in Alburnett, Iowa. I went to Iowa State and was on the livestock judging team there. I currently farm with my family and work as a sales sales feed specialist for Umbarger Show Feeds. And then I work with youth and trade all species of livestock across the states and in the South. So excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now entering the ring is Senior Class 1, Tyler Alderton, Taylor Bartholomew, Zoe Denler, and Kinsey Miller. We would like to recognize Taylor Bartholomew of the Franklin Cubs 4-H Club for receiving a Bucket Bottle Calf Project Award at the 2022 Awards Night. She excelled in personal bucket bottle calf projects, learning, workshop, and leadership experiences. Congratulations, Taylor.
I think a good way to start within the bucket calf show here in the senior division, and I think all four exhibitors are doing a very good job. I thought the young lady with the calf that comes in terms of her showmanship and the way that she gets that calf set up, I thought she did a good job. I thought just in terms of the production side or how that calf looks from the outside, I thought just condition is extremely good. I like how that young lady shows that calf, and I think she's doing an extremely good job just with management and keeping that one put together. But the young lady that stands directly behind her, I think in terms of a bigger bellied calf that's got some rib shape and got some good structural quality, I think that young lady does an awesome job. I thought at times maybe wanted to get her calf just a little spread out within the drive or when we're showing her, but I certainly think knowledge and just putting that thing together where it needs to be, she does a good job. I'd like to maybe see that one with just a little more condition at this stage, but being that young of a calf, I certainly think just long term and where that one's going certainly won't be an issue. And the young lady with the bigger steer within this class, I think does an awesome job. In terms of condition, maybe that's the one that leads the pack within this drive, a bigger steer that's got some just internal fat and condition on him. I thought the young lady did a really good job in terms of showing that one. Maybe doesn't want to just get that one set up perfectly at times, and if we could do that just a little bit differently, I certainly think we could get, like how she shows that one, because her posture, her composure out here is really good. The young man that brings us the white calf is the lightest one within the class. I still think one that's got some belly and some rib shape. I think he's doing an awesome job there. Maybe one that we'd like to see with just a little more condition at this stage of the game. But certainly I don't think a huge red flag in terms of where that one's going to land when she gets to maybe a mature weight or a mature size. Within the young man, his showmanship skills, I like just his speed and his pace out here. At times, maybe you just wish he'd turn and just let his calf kind of walk. And just I think that comes within the way he utilizes his hands on the halter. But I certainly think all four do a good job. Let's put our hands together for them as they exit the ring.
Returning for championship drive are Taylor Bartholomew and Zoe Denler. And receiving blues are Kinsey Miller and Tyler Alderton. Now entering the ring for senior class 2 are Madison Conway, Zoe Denler, Kinsey Miller, Grace Skelton.
Attention in the barn. This is first call, intermediate, class 1, bucket bottle. First call, intermediate, class 1, bucket bottle.
We would like to recognize and thank Federation Bank for their sponsorship of the 4-H t-shirts for each member this year. You'll notice many of the showmen are wearing those today.
I think another good class within the senior drive, and we get a couple exhibitors out here that bring their second calf back, and so we can kind of move just a little bit quicker through this class. I think the young lady to the far right that starts the class, I think in terms of showmanship and just her posture and the way that she shows that calf, I like that. I like when she comes in the ring and just gives you the pace that she gives with that calf, I guess. Does an extremely good job. I like where that calf's at in terms of condition. I think within the class, maybe the best in terms of its body shape and its rib cage. I think one that's got some real muscle and just dimension about it. I think an awfully nice one that young lady brings to us. The next young lady that brings us the black steer, I think does a really good job in terms of coming into the ring and getting that one to go. I like how she just kind of moved her way around and kept going, moved past the Bronco face just to keep going and keep her calf there. Maybe one that doesn't want to set up and wants to fight us just a little bit as she comes into the ring. I think composition and that calf is presented extremely good. That young lady does a good job. the Brockle face steer in terms of one that is maybe the chubbiest or the chunkiest within the class. That young lady's got that one put together extremely good. I think structurally that calf's extremely good. I think in terms of its lines and its angles, I think has a bright future. Young lady, again, does an awesome job in terms of showmanship. Maybe you would like to see her just put that one together at times a little bit better, but man, you just like her, how she comes in the ring, has that calf put together and broke. Maybe one that wants to fight just a little within this drive. The next young lady with the black heifer, I think does an awesome job. I like that one in terms of her structure and her build. You know, the bigger calf within the drive that gets is good in terms of her angles and her lines. Maybe one that's just a little bit off built in terms of her angle to her shoulder. I think one that we'll have to watch just in terms of her structure and her build for the future. But young lady does an awesome job. One that's wanting to fight her, but she's sticking right with it, doing an awesome job. Let's put our hands together for these exhibitors as they exit the ring.
Returning for championship drive are Madison Conway and Zoe Denler. Entering the ring for senior championship drive are Taylor Bartholomew, Zoe Denler, and Madison Conway.
My name is Greta Searin, and I'm this year's 2023 Miss Congeniality. I'm 17 years old, and my parents are Jason and Catherine Searin, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Okay, I think as we get back out here for our senior division champion, I think again all three of these exhibitors are doing an awesome job. I thought as we work through them, it gets really challenging. Maybe in my head, I thought it'd be a little bit easier as we got them back out here, but I think all three of them do an extremely good job. I think as a whole, there's some things that we'd like to change about every exhibitor. The young lady that starts our drive, I thought as I walk around through the front, maybe wants to change hands and wants to do it a couple times within the drive. I thought one time when I walked around there, she did a good job at just stepping out in front of her calf. I thought the young lady standing directly behind her did an extremely good job in terms of just maneuvering around her calf. Maybe wants to get a little bit further out in front than I would prefer ideal, but I think she does a good job. For her, I'd like to see maybe when she goes to lead that calf, she kind of wants to keep her palm up. If she would put her palm down that is closest to her calf, I thought maybe it'd just make her calf a little more comfortable. But, man, she does a good job at just presenting her calf and getting that one here today in the ring. And then the young lady standing directly behind her, same can be said. I thought as we go to lead the cattle, I wish she'd put her palm down in terms of her right hand. But I thought within the drive she did an awesome job. I thought maybe at times she didn't want to maybe get that one just set perfect, but certainly brings us a fresh presented one that is put together well. You can tell all three of these ladies have done a good job at home and practice with their cattle. Let's put our hands together and then we'll pick your champion.
Okay. Your champion is Taylor Bartholomew. And your reserve champion is Madison Conway.
Also at this time, every year our Bucket Bottle Committee, we do a Above and Beyond award. A lot of these girls help at workshops, events, do mentoring and things like that. And one of them this year really stood up and helped us a lot in the ring and other places, and actually mentioned the Bucket Bottle Department when she was interviewed as queen. So this year's Above and Beyond award goes to Taylor Bartholomew.
Now entering is Intermediate Class 1, Emma Alderton, Tate Bombi, Tessa Bombi, Marissa Kalupa, Joseph Pasha, Nicholas Pasha, and Gracie Wood. The Bucket Bottle Senior Champion Trophy was sponsored by Bob and Joanne Spenner family. And the Bucket Bottle Senior Reserve Trophy was sponsored by Jeff, Karen, and Kelsey Fair. The Above and Beyond Award was sponsored by Jeff, Karen, and Kelsey Fair.
Attention in the barns, this is the first call for Intermediate Class 2.
We want to thank Hamas Brothers Sawmill of Ollie for donating the wood chips for the cattle barns this year.
Attention in the barns, this is second call for intermediate class 2. Second call.
Hi everyone, I'm Taylor Bartholomew, the 17-year-old daughter of Scott and Michelle Bartholomew. This upcoming fall, I will be a senior at Washington, and this year I am your Washington County Fair Queen.
A few more exhibitors within this class, so it takes just a little more time. But I still think just for the future of these exhibitors, we need to take the time to just talk about them within our show. The young lady that starts to the very far right, I think a nice calf that's got some unique pieces about it, one that's longer neck. You like that one through the front 1/3 of his body, one that maybe you could just see a little bit more of that calf. Maybe just a little stouter in terms of his feet and his legs. But I thought the young lady does a good job. She maybe runs just a little bit of a slower pace when she's walking out here, and I'm okay with that personally. Maybe I'd like just a little bit more of a faster pace, but I think she keeps a consistent pace within the show. I think she sets that calf up good. The young man that brings us the next one, in terms of a presentation, hair-wise, and just having a hairy calf that he brings to the show, young man does an awesome job in terms of that. He gets that one presented extremely good. One that maybe wants to just fight him, and one that he told me is blind, so taking that into consideration, I think he does an extremely good job just in terms of his posture and his calmness out here. We'd like to see him maybe just get that one's head up a little bit in terms of showmanship, but I think he does an awesome job just in terms of presenting a fresh-heighted calf out here. The young lady next, I like just her posture and her intensiveness out here within the show. I think one that is it has some extremely good things about that calf, just in terms of length of body and his fill out here, really good. I think a good feet and legs one that has some future to him. You know, as we talk about that young lady's showmanship, I think at times she'll want to turn around and show her calf on the stand, and then at times she'll want to stand maybe like she is now. And if she just turn around and maybe she could see that calf where to get him put together at, I think would help her just in terms of setting that calf up. I like a lot of things about the young lady's showmanship ability next. She's always working to get that calf set and present him really good. I think that one's just wanting to fight her within the show. I think if he'd just give up and kind of lead, I think she would excel, because I think she does an extremely good job. She's aware of how that calf needs to be set up. I think one that is built extremely good from the side. A calf that's got some future just in terms of look and design. Maybe one that just needs a shot more muscle at this stage of the game, but I think certainly one that's got some future. His skeleton's really good. I think one that long-term could be good for that young lady. The next young man is maybe on the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of just intensity out here. A little more laid-back style, a little more just relaxed, and I'm okay with that. As he gets that calf presented and gets it put together, he's got that one set up. I'd like to see him just turn around and face his calf when we're on the standstill, but I think young man does a good job. I like just his calmness and his collectiveness out here. In terms of the calf, maybe one that just doesn't blend and balance, and his top line is good out here today. Maybe one that lacks just a little bit of muscle, a real muscle in his upper skeleton, but I think got a real cool long neck about him. I think one that's got some big feet and some big legs. Certainly one that's got a good body shape. A good one. We just got to see him with maybe just a little more muscle. The next young man's heifer, I like a lot of things about that heifer in terms of her build and her structure. Her lines and her angles are good. Young man does, in terms of his showmanship, is calm, and another one that's just a little more laid back. And again, I'm okay with that. I wish he'd just face that calf and switch hands with the halter at times, but I think he does an awesome job. I think we got to get that one set up just a little better, more consistently, but I think he brings a nice calf to the show. The next young lady, just in terms of knowledge about cattle, does an extremely good job. I think a calf that's got a lot of cool pieces about him. He's maybe one that doesn't have as much physical fill in his body out here today, but I think one that's got a lot of cool parts and pieces to him, certainly one that has a bright future. Again, on this young lady, I think in terms of her knowledge about cattle or knowledge about her calf, does an awesome job. I think maybe at times we'd like to just see her again turn around and face her calf and switch hands, but I think when she does that, I think she presents an awfully nice calf. So let's put our hands together for this first group as they exit the ring.
Receiving purples and coming back for championship drive are Tate Bombi and Tessa Bombi. Receiving blues is everyone else. Now entering the ring is intermediate class 2, Tate Bombi, Tessa Bombi, Kendall Conway, Gatlin Ferrier, Allison Reed, Tyler Rogers, and Gracie Wood. For the bucket bottle project, these 4-Hers have to go through a process in order beforehand. So they have already gone through an interview with judges, completed a record book about their project. We've had workshops that they attended, and then right now what they are doing is showing and getting judged on production and showmanship. And the seniors and intermediates also have a test that they take that adds into their points.
Another group of cattle that are extremely good presented, and all the kids are doing a good job. Young man that brings us the first one, I think a calf in terms of rib shape and just fill and some muscle. That one young man brings us is awfully nice in terms of that. Again, I think he does an awesome job in terms of showmanship. I think maybe at times maybe just wants to turn and do some different stuff when we work around him. I think just to get a little more comfortable, if he'd just stay one way. I think maybe all these exhibitors are taught just a little different way, and it maybe makes it just a little awkward for him. So taking that into consideration, I think if we could get him just to maybe stay in one spot, or I guess one direction when we work around him. We'd like to see his calf set up just a little better at times, but I think does a good job. Young lady that comes next, her calf is wanting to fight her, but I think in terms of just staying calm and putting her calf together when she can, she does an awesome job that way. I think a calf that's got some size and some grow, I think one that's got some unique traits about her just in terms of her structure and her look. I think one that just needs some more time and just a little more body out here, but certainly one that the young lady is sticking right with. She's doing an awesome job. I think the young lady with the yellow calf, in terms of condition, probably brings us one that within this class is probably the best conditioned in terms of fat and just overall body composition. Does an awesome job in terms of setting that one and getting it presented. I like her posture and the way she gets that calf presented. At times we maybe like to see her just pick that one's head up just a little bit. But she does an awesome job in terms of presenting that one and putting her together. My compliments to her for getting that calf put together like that. Young man that comes out next, I thought just in terms of his posture and the way that he works around his calf, does a good job. A calf maybe that is just a little bit harder in her center body out here today. I think with time and we get that one center body to drop, I think one that's long bodied, that's got some look and just levelness to her spine. One that's built extremely good. I think a future calf that young man can take on, go on and feed on and make a pretty nice heifer out of. Young lady next, again, another one that's big-bodied and got some rib shape to him. Maybe one that's not just overly muscular at this stage of the game. I think one that's awesome built, awesome and just in terms of her look and her presentation. I'd like to see that maybe the young lady just stand off of that calf. Maybe it gets just a little more awkward in terms of what hand we're going to keep on the halter and which one we're going to switch. But I think she does an awesome job in terms of getting that one presented in terms of just physical look out here. she does a good job that way. The young man that brings the Hereford appearing one, I think in terms of body and just overall body width is extremely good out here. Maybe one that gets a little more forward in the angle to her shoulder, and something that we'll have to watch within the future. But I think in terms of the young man's showmanship ability, I wish he'd just turn around at times and face his calf, know where that one's set up. But I think within the drive, I think you like that one just for her presentation out here. The next young lady, again, one that's been out here, and we like her knowledge about her livestock and just the way she brings them and presents them. I think she brings us one that's awfully nice just in terms of level lines and just her look from the side. Maybe one that's just a little harder in her body composition here today. I think with time and just more feed, I think that one will get better. Let's put our hands together for all these exhibitors. They're doing an awesome job.
Receiving purples and coming back for championship drive are Tate Bombi, Tessa Bombi, and Kendall Conway. The rest will be receiving blues. While they're getting lined up, we would like to take the time and thank the superintendents, Bob Spenner, who is wearing his red shirt, Jeff Fair, who could not be here during Fair Week, and then the project leaders, Kelsey Fair, who also could not be here, and then myself. Now entering the ring for championship drive are Tate Bombi, Tessa Bombi, and Kendall Conway.
Attention in the barn, second call, junior class 1. Second call, junior class 1.
I thought all of the three of these exhibitors do an extremely good job. And as we got them back out here, I thought, maybe within as we've brought cattle through the ring, maybe all these exhibitors have done the same. So I just kind of demonstrated to these three and maybe the exhibitors that are standing ringside watched. As we get these kids more comfortable out here and as we can just make them more comfortable and not have to do so many different motions, I think it just becomes easier for them to work with their calf and set their calf up. So I think as we went through that and we made these kids more comfortable and as they move on through their project, certainly will be helpful. I thought as we got them back out here again, past kind of maybe a little bit of a hiccup with our body movement, I thought all of them do an awesome job just in terms of setting them up. Their cattle, I think, between the three of them, just the future, and they look like cattle that are on the way up. They got some rib shape, they got some condition, certainly cattle that look like they can maybe get to the end point for being a bottle calf and maybe making it just a little more tough to get them to be a big steer or a big heifer and be the right size and not too big and not too tall. I think all these cattle look that way. So let's put our hands together for these 3 exhibitors and we'll pick a champion.
Your intermediate champion is Tessa Bombi, and your reserve intermediate is Kendall Conway. The Bucket Bottle Intermediate Champion Trophy is sponsored by Schlopko Veterinary Services, and the Bucket Bottle Intermediate Reserve Trophy is sponsored in memory of Jim Munn. Now entering the ring is juniors, class 1, Taya Bombi, Zach Hotchkiss, Leah Kelly, Alexis Pasha, Canyon Peak, Eve Stoutner.
Attention in the barns, this is the first call for junior class 2, first call junior class 2. Second call, junior.
an awesome group of within our junior class as we get into them. And I think the biggest and the coolest thing within this show is, we worked with the kids as we pulled them in, and then as we get them on the profile, they all kind of utilized just a quick knowledge, and that they all took it and they did it. So my compliments to all of them for quickly learning and doing some cool things like that. I think as we talk about just the cattle and the showmen are all doing an awesome job. So we'll just kind of talk the cattle about them. And the young man that brings the heifer, or the young lady, sorry, the young lady that brings the heifer in the very first spot, rib shape and just body is so awesome about that calf. I like that one's just hide and hair. Young lady's doing an awesome job with that one, just in terms of presenting it. I like that one's rib shape and just levelness of design. A good built one that the young lady brings. The young man that's next, I think, brings us an awfully green calf that's just a greener in his body condition, good in terms of his build and his design. Looks like one that reads with some future and some just going to be good feeding and an easy feeding one for that young man. The young lady that comes next in terms of a hairy one that is just presented so awesome out here. That young lady does a good job at presenting that one. I think one that's got some awfully unique things about it, just in terms of its build and its structure through the front 1/3 of its body. A lot of cool things about that calf that the young lady brings. The next one that young lady brings is awesome, just in terms of size and length of body. I like that one's rib cage and look. That one is good in terms of its build and its design. One that's just sound and flexible out here. Young lady does an awesome job at getting that one shown and just brought to us today in a fresh manner. My hat's off to her. The young man with the Hereford appearing one, I think the one in terms of just size out here or age is probably one of the smaller ones, but I still think one that's got some future and rib shape. You like that one's levelness to his design, one that's good in terms of his feet and his legs. Just immature in his look out here today, but that young man does an awesome job. The final young lady that brings us her steer out here, one that's just so fresh in terms of his presentation, and young lady brings him you can tell she's worked on that one in terms of his hair and just his hair coat that he has out here. I think one that is good in terms of his body shape and one that's good in terms of his muscle. I think an awesome set of calves and a really good set of exhibitors. Let's put our hands together for all those exhibitors as they exit.
Returning for championship drive are Taya Bombi and Zach Hotchkiss. So you can go ahead and pull on out and grab and the rest of you are receiving blues. Now entering the ring is Junior Class 2, Lucas Bender, Zach Hotchkiss, Hattie Longbine, Niall Longbine, Maren Northrup, and Jace Wiggins.
Attention in the barns, this is the first call for Junior Class 3. First call, Junior Class 3.
At this time, we would like to At this time, we would like to thank those that are helping in the ring: Lily Clark, Emma Stalder, Claire Stalder, Bryn Northrup. We'd also like to thank Neil Megelson for lining them all up. And up here, Karen Megelson and Katie Ruman for all their help. And also any of the others that are in the barn helping make sure the calves are up here.
Another awesome group of kids, and the cattle within this group of them, I think of the cattle we've seen today, maybe from top to bottom, are extremely just well presented, and they're just put together right. The young man's baldy heifer that comes out first, I think is just so awesome build and just so much body in that one. I think that one's just show ring presence is so good. That young man does an awesome job getting that one shown, and he gets her so good presented out here. The young man that brings the red heifer, maybe of the group, is the greenest or the skinniest in her composition today. I still think one that's a really good build. I think future on that one is awesome. Maybe one that just in terms of her rib cage is going to be a little bit of a struggle to get. I think past that, I think just build and presentation, a young man does an awesome job getting that one presented. The young lady's next browner colored steer, just in terms of a build and a design, I think that one is so awesome from the side. One that through the front 1/3 of his body is just so cool looking and ties his neck high on his shoulder. I think structure's good there. I think a calf that looks like he's going to have some future, and just his build and his design maybe tells you that you'll be able to feed on him just a little bit harder, and he'll stay together like he needs to. The next young man with the next steer, I think in terms of hair and just presentation, does an awesome job. A steer that's got some look and some just future about him. I think one that as we study him, maybe just his hip is just a little off built. I think if we can keep that in check as that young man feeds on him and keep his tail head in him, young man will have an awfully nice project, because a hairy one that has a good look about him, has big feet and big legs. Young man is another one that's doing an awesome job. The young lady steer that's kind of standing on the backside, longer bodied steer, and I think that's okay about that calf, because he's still got some chub and some flesh on him. He's a good rib steer that's got some look and just presentation out here. Young lady brings us a calf that maybe just gets a little bit flatter in his rib shape. Another one that we'll just have to get a little bit more there in his center body. I think a calf that's got some muscle and some just unique things about him that read like he can maybe feed and make the future for her. Young man that brings the next calf, I think look and design is really good. Maybe a little bit greener calf. His rib shape is extremely good. His build and his design is awesome on that calf. Let's put our hands together. All these kids are doing an awesome job.
Coming back for championship drive is Zach Hotchkiss. Entering the ring for junior class 3 is Landon Beinhart, Taya Bombi, Parker Conway, Adrian Green, Canyon Peak, and Carter Roberts.
Attention in the barn. This is the first call for junior class 4. First call, junior class 4. Attention in the barns. This is the second call for junior class 4. Second call, junior class 4.
Immediately following the Bucket Bottle Show today will be the Clover Kid Bucket Bottle Show. Clover Kid participants have been mentored by Bucket Bottle Showmen to learn more about the beef species. Please stick around and see the next generation getting involved in this department. Clover Kid participants in this class should get their show number from the extension office.
All these kids are doing an awesome job with their calves, and it's just getting them presented. The young lady's calf on the far right is maybe a little bigger frame calf where he's at for his weight, but certainly a calf that's got some body and got some muscle. You like that one just in terms of his build and his structure when he's standing still. One that's wanting to fight her just a little bit, but I still think one that is just awesome build and has some awesome things about that one. Young man that brings us the black heifer, I think does an awesome job in terms of getting that one put together. You know, maybe a heifer that isn't just the levelest in her spine, but I think one that's got some rib shape and got some look up front, a heifer that's got some foot and bone, and certainly one that's got an awesome build to her. That young man does an awesome job. The next young man with the steer, a little bit of a greener steer, but I think one that's level in his design and good in his angles to his skeleton. He's maybe a calf that again has a little bit harder belly to him, but I think just in terms of angles and lines, that one, young man does a good job with that one. The next young lady brings us the next heifer out, I think, the next heifer out. I think one that's got some look and got some presentation out here. A good ribbed heifer that's got some belly to her. Maybe one that is just a little bit plainer in her muscle pattern out here today, but I certainly think just rib and stuff reads like that one has a good growth pattern to her. The young man with the Hereford steer, another bigger frame steer out here within this drive, but I still think a good one, a good feet and leg steer, maybe just a little skinnier in his type out here, but certainly one that's good in terms of his build. One that's got an awesome look. Young man does a good job of getting that one presented. And then the next young man with the heifer, one of the bigger heifers within this show or this class. One that's got some rib and some shape. One that's a longer bodied heifer that's just smooth everywhere. She's maybe just a little bit iffy built in terms of her rear leg and the way that she utilizes it when she goes. But I still think one that you appreciate her for her length of body and her rib out here today. Let's put our hands together for all these exhibitors. They're all doing an awesome job.
Receiving a purple and coming back for the championship drive is Taya Bombi. Also receiving a purple is Adrian Green. And the rest will be receiving blues. Now entering the ring is junior class 4, Clayton Bartholomew, Adeline Beinhart, Lucas Bender, Blair Northrup, Morgan Northrup, and Sydney Williams.
I think another good group of cattle, and most importantly, these exhibitors are all doing an awesome job. The young man that brings us the steer to start is a big-bodied steer that's got some size to him, and he's got some length of body. You like those things about him. A really good built one that's got some muscle and just rib shape. I think the young man does an awesome job there. The young lady that comes next with the next steer, I think in terms of muscle and just shape, she does brings that calf that way here today. Maybe one that's not just as big in terms of his body comparatively to ones out here. I still think a steer that looks like he's going to feed. He's got some length of body. Just one that we'd like to see a little better in his rib cage and his center body out here today. The young man is a little on the opposite end of the spectrum, just a big-bodied, soggy centered steer that's got some look and just some real muscle shape. I think a calf that's got some muscle as you step directly in behind him. A good built one. Young man does an awesome job there. The next young lady that brings the next one, maybe of all the ones that we've seen today, maybe the one that looks like a show steer at this size of the game. He's a short-bodied one that's got some muscle. He's big in his upper hip with some big feet and some big legs. Got a big hair coat working on him. Young lady does an awesome job and presents us a really nice prospect calf for herself. The young man that comes next with that steer, maybe one that's on the opposite end of the spectrum of the one that stands directly ahead of him. A little longer bodied, but still a steer that's got some muscle and width and some shape. He's got some big feet and legs on him that are extremely good built. I think one that maybe gets a little harsher in just his heart and his forerib and down through his lower body, but one that you appreciate his muscle and just the look that one gives from the side. The young ladies that is at the end here, the white calf, I think a good-looking one that's got some size and scale to her. One that's just a little harsher in her body, and I think as we project that one, we just maybe want to protect that one in terms of the angle to her shoulder as we're feeding on her. But I still think an awfully good calf that's got some length and just overall look from the side. Let's put our hands together for our final class here in the juniors. They're all doing an awesome job.
Receiving purples and coming back for championship drive are Clayton Bartholomew and Blair Northrup. And the rest will be receiving blues. Entering the ring for championship drive is Taya Bombi, Zach Hotchkiss, Clayton Bartholomew, and Blair Northrup. If you would like a Clover Kid bucket bottle show program, our Fair Queen Taylor will be walking around with those, so just wave your hand at her.
I think all four of these kids certainly have a bright future. And as I drove down here, I had helped a couple kids within the county this year on different species projects, and I was thinking, kind of what you'd say if you were judging a show. And I'm not going to talk a whole lot, but I think within this county, the biggest thing that kind of came to my head is if I had to show at this county. I wouldn't want to, because I think your guys' youth are so awesome. I think within this county, it doesn't matter which barn you walk to around here, there's competitive kids, there's good livestock, and certainly, I think your youth are so good. I've stepped aside or watched from outside the ring for the last couple of years, and man, your guys' shows are extremely tough, and it takes a lot for these kids to bring a calf or a pig or a sheep or a goat and come to this county and be competitive. I think as we work throughout the day of all these kids, there's so many of them that the future, when they step up to the next size, I think is going to be so awesome, because they bring cattle that are presentable, they bring cattle that are competitive and look like they can be competitive on down the road. So my hat's off and my compliments are to all of you guys that let your kids come and show in this county, or bring your kids and show at such a high level, because it's, like I said, it's a county that I have a lot of respect for, just in terms of the quality of the livestock and how competitive all your guys' kids are. So let's put our hands together for all the kids that we've seen through the ring today. They've all done a really awesome job. We'll pick your junior champion here in a second.
Your junior champion is Zach Hotchkiss. So go ahead and, pull on out there. And your reserve champion is Blair Northrup.